GG Sambo Intel Classic.
Welcome back. We have Stork at the top right of the map. The map Andromeda. Again, all these maps are new maps in this event. These are maps that have not yet been tested thoroughly by these pro gamers on the professional level. They have all, of course, been confirmed by KESPA as legitimate esport maps. And what that means is that neither of these players have a whole lot of experience on this map. They have not really discovered the ideal builds on this map, so to speak. Certainly they have been able to look at the map beforehand and practice on it with their teammates beforehand, but it's not clear as to if they've really figured the map out, if they really feel comfortable with it. And that's a big part of StarCraft. This is actually the only RTS game with a constantly changing map flow. I don't even know if that sentence made sense. We're constantly getting new maps in the professional level of StarCraft to change the metagame, to keep the game constantly evolving. It makes it really different from a game which is not, for instance, Warcraft 3 is a very good game as well, but they've been sticking with the same 5 maps since the beginning. It might be more than 5, but this is something that they kind of came up with to kind of keep the flow going and keep the game interesting, and it's really turned out to be a massive success. So we see that Stork is going for the fast gateway mine. Again, doing what we saw last time. I'm curious if he's going to make that barracks a little bit closer to the command center. And it looks like, no, he's not. He's actually going to make it farther away. And it seems like he's pretty comfortable with his Marine micro, which, hey, props to him for that. Now, it looks like, unfortunately for Mind, he will be spotted. Fortune is against him. He was spotted first by Stork's scouting probe. Stork could have scouted to the bottom left, but instead his StarCraft sensors were tingling, and he did manage to go in the right direction. I also saw that I don't believe Stork has gotten his Vespian gas geyser yet. We might see a fast Nexus, I'm not sure. He's still not gotten it, so that's clearly not a mistake. That means that we're probably going to see Manor Pylon. Sup. That sucks. So he puts the pylon there in the mineral patch to block off those 2 minerals so that SCVs cannot mine directly. They have to go around to the bag. So this is a type of technical rush we see a lot of good StarCraft players do. I'm actually a big fan of the Manor Pylon. It's a strategy, though, that requires a lot of practice. You can't just wing the Manor Pylon rush and hope that it works, because you can end up getting way farther behind than your opponent is, even if you got a lot of workers. So the advantages and disadvantages of this right now is that Stork, first of all, does not have his Vespian gas geyser, which means he will not get Dragoons out. And if a Vulture bike can come out in time, it could be very, very difficult for the Protoss to deal with. But right now, it's going to be up to whether or not Mine can hold up this rush. The Manor Pylon, the reason why it's called Manor Pylon, of course, is to be ironic, because the fact that it makes people so mad when this happens to them, when the pylon gets put in their mineral patches and messes up their mining pattern. So he's going to go ahead in here and attack a few of these SCVs, the ones that are getting drawn to the back due to the pathfinding AI because of the Manor Pylon forcing them to go around. SCV's being pulled off. He could target that one at the factory down there. This would delay the... nope, the factory's finished and Vulture bikes will soon be out. And it looks like the Zults are going to back off. Stork knows all he has to do is keep those SCVs off of the minerals, and Mind knows that he has to keep those SCVs with the brains, otherwise it's going to be really bad news. But look at this. Mind is actually controlling his units very well. But if this Zealot can get in here and do enough damage, that could all turn around, and it looks like he's managing to do that right now. Here comes a few more Zealot hits, taking out a few more Marines, but this Zealot will be taken out. Now, what is Stork's course of action? Will he get the Vespian gas geyser? Yes, he has, and he's now gotten the Cybernetics core. Going for the fast robo. I believe he will have a Dragoon out in time. Knowing Stork, after casting so many of his games, I can tell you he's very, very calculated. And you normally don't see him fumble the game like that. Or at least not that early on. Because he did fumble the game last time, so I shouldn't say always. Putting a pylon there to block off the scouting SCV and force it back around so the Dragoon can take it off, and then canceling it. Mind does have a good idea, though, of what his opponent is planning on doing, and that's a fast Robo Bay. Looks like Mind's actually going to move out now. Now, I have to say that Robo Bay is pretty fast, so maybe we'll see Reavers? I don't know. So Mind was in a pretty tough position back there, a position where he handled it very well, and he did deflect the rush, but he did lose a lot of valuable time in mining. I'm actually surprised that Mind even pushed forward with such a small amount of units. That's a very easy way to completely and totally lose control of the game. And once again, Fast Command Center seems to be the build that Mind is most comfortable with, and Fast Command Center can be a little bit fragile against a fast Reaver, which is exactly what Stork is doing. So Stork will be taking that mineral-only Expo rather than the Vespian Gas Expo with minerals, which is a little bit more dangerous to take. Stork taking the safe path this game. And pretty by-the-book opening here by Mind. But it's an opening that's been proven to work. Terran basically gets siege mode in a few turrets, sets up an expansion, and then starts to pump a lot of units out of a lot of factories for an inevitable terrorist push, meanwhile harassing with a few vulture bites. Reaver has been picked up. Will he get another one? No, he will not. Instead, he's going to move out with just that Reaver. Probably put a Zealot or a Dragoon in there to help draw tank fire. And note that Mind, it looks like, will be going for the non-mineral only expansion. The expansion that's a bit riskier to take, but the one that is more rewarding if you can manage to secure it. Whereas Stork is going for the mineral only Expo, the one that I believe only has 5 or 6 mineral patches. 5 mineral patches, in fact. So, a big question we have to ask ourselves is this Reaver drop going to do enough damage? Here it comes now. One Reaver shot. And it looks like he will end up taking out this turret, but it looks like he went to a bit of a waste. And here he comes rushing in with his Dragoons! And it looks like Mind might not actually be able to secure this at all. Those SCVs are going to have to retreat, but they could be going into the clutches of the Diabolical Reaver, which is now ready to take them out, picking it up just before the tank can get it. And, wow, this is now really bad for Mind. And the Reaver will manage to take out that tank, dropping it again, and picking off the rest of the SCVs over there. And he better be careful not to lose that shuttle once that turret finishes. He will now have to back off. Dragoons will take out the turret if he's careful enough, or Reaver. And now Mind is in an absolutely awful position, and I can even see the Stork is expanding on the mini-map. Here comes the Reaver to drop and take out one more tank, but he has to be so careful because that Reaver, he is on life support right now. He is so low on HP. But all he has to do is keep that Reaver alive and do a little bit more harassment, and it's going to turn out to be bad news for Mind. So I'm not sure what exactly Mind's options are right now. Mind is going to have to deal with this Reaver, but the longer that it takes for him to do that, the larger of an army Stork is going to have when Mind finally decides to push. So Stork is in an absolutely phenomenally great position right now. And he knows that. So here comes the one tank. Oh! I think he misfired and ended up hitting that tank. The command center rather than that tank. Now look, we can see he's making a lot of gayways over here. Everything is going according to plan for Stork. So, Mind, you are in a lot of trouble. Probe now peeking around the map, perhaps for a hidden expo. Maybe he's going to hide carrier tech, I'm not sure. Citadel or Zealot Lakes. Wow, Mind is in an awful, awful place. He has still not managed to get this expansion up. He is utilizing the command center by pumping SCVs from it. weapons being upgraded at the forge. And again, look, Stork is just doing so much harassment, and he now has a new fresh Reaver. And he is not interested in letting that Reaver take any damage. So it looks like now he's going to use that command center to mine those minerals from the expansion. I think. No, he's not. You see, this surprises me. I would have actually assumed that Mind would have reverted back to that mineral-only expansion for the time being, but he hasn't. And I think that might have been a little bit sloppy by him. So he is really going to put up a good fight for that expansion. But meanwhile, Stork's already expanding again. He is completely out of control. And now the positioning of this Reaver is going to make it impossible for Mayan to secure that spot. At least for now. Here come a few more siege tanks, but time is money. And this is turned out to be not a very head-to-head intense game, but rather a pretty one-sided game, to say the very least. We'll see, though, because, you know, if we look back to the previous games, Mind was really not in a very good place, and then Stork managed to have this incredible blunder, which allowed Mind to gain map control with vultures. Templar Archives is almost done. He might be using that for some storm drop harassment, since the expansion is nearby a cliff. Uh-oh, 2 shuttles? Is that 2 shuttles? Yes, it is. Because there's a shadow of one right there. Okay, there we go. So double shuttle drop coming in here to the main. Maybe Zealous Dragoons in that one. I'm not sure exactly what the plan is here, but we can see that expansion is now finished for Stork over at the middle middle bottom left. You know, let me just say bottom left. And another command center is being produced for Mine. But a very, very late command center. So the shuttles are on the move, looking for any opportunity to do any type of harassment at all. Templars coming out for the storms. Notice that Stork really seems to be comfortable getting Storm at this point in time in the game, and he's got to be very careful in that position. It looks like Mine has really turtled himself off. The giant tortoise Mine. So, storm drops are going to be very viable, as I've already said. Stork, all he has to do is sit back and wait for Mind to push, and he should be able to completely and totally run over everything that Mind has. Mind is going to have to do something pretty creative if he wants to come back, and I don't see that creativity shining through just yet. So, with Stork now taking those expansions, there's no real easy place for the Terran to push. Now we see a Stargate coming up. It might be for carriers, because I did see something getting upgraded at the cybernetics core. Or, you know what, it could be for arbiters. Maybe he was upgrading air armor. Either way, it's going to be very helpful for Stork. But he's going to have to pick one or the other. Look at this. Now he's even taking an island expansion with these 2 shuttles. Man. Stork, you are just out of control, buddy. Finally, Mind has actually left his base with some vulture bikes. And, wow, look at that. This expansion is completely undefended. I don't know what Stork was doing. This is very sloppy by Stork. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. Well, wow, he needs to micro those probes back, and he's not doing that. And now mines are being set up, and Stork, oh, what are you doing? He's losing all of these probes. And fortunately, he does have a pylon prison wall. And here come a few more vultures, laying a few mines, or a mine, singular. And it will now attempt to take out a few probes. Is this going to be what Mind needed? Stork's sloppiness, and I will say it was complete total sloppiness. I can't believe that he even allowed that to happen, considering he had so much map control. And he is going carriers, and it looks like Mind has spotted the carriers. So we could see a push happen within seconds from Mind before the carrier's ball starts to get rolling. Wow, he's taking out a lot of probes. And considering that, wow, look at that. So again, vultures zipping around the map, taking out probes, which means that all these expansions that Mind is taking, or Stork is taking, excuse me, might not prove to be that effective because it doesn't have the probes playing from them. So he is continuing to go with the carriers. He did not cancel that option. We have not really gotten very many shots of Mind space. I'm curious if he actually has a star port. So he does, in fact, have that starport and the science facility, so he is upgrading his Terran units. I am very curious as to how this push will play out. Because remember, Mind did not have that expansion up for so long, but all of a sudden, Mind has taken out, once again, a whole bunch of probes. This is kind of turned out to be a very similar game to the last one we saw. Here he comes now, moving across the map. And dropping over here with his shuttle, one Reaver, which will be able to take out these tanks, I believe, and a Storm, and finish them off anyways. All he has to do is push back the Terran a little bit farther, and he has managed to do that already. And wow, look at this. Stork is completely and totally running over his opponent Mind. And this could go to a 1-1 game very easily. Mind did not come up with anything creative enough to give him any type of major advantage. And now storming on the SCVs. Pulled out. He knows he's done all the damage he needs to do. The carrier fleet is growing. But one lone dropship is on the prowl. Is it going to be enough, though? And let's see what you got, dropship. Moving over here. I think he's assuming that his opponent actually already had a Nexus there because the pylon person was there. But in fact, he does not have the Nexus there yet. So I don't know how effective this sneaky little strategy is going to be. Well, I bet he's going to feel pretty bad when he finds out the Nexus is not even done. Who knows, though? Maybe he's going to wait a little bit for those units to, the probes to actually get over there and start mining double core. Oh, excuse me. My screen didn't pick up this part of the mini-map. So he is, in fact, going to go over there and take out these probes, dealing heavy damage to a lot of those. I'll have to tell you to adjust my screen. I actually can't see the bottom of the mini-map. I can't even see if the players have upgrades or not. But yes, he will be taking out a lot of these probes. And remember, there's a pylon prison here, so we cannot, well, Stork cannot get access to his own base unless he uses Zealots or a shuttle. Here he got the Zealots coming in now. And it looks like this vulture bike drop has turned out to be very effective. If he continues to micro well enough, he could keep those vultures alive quite some time, actually. But carriers are already dealing a lot of damage. And it looks like mine does have Goliaths, but does he have enough Goliaths? Does it even matter? Can he even get out of his base? I don't think so. With the ground army of Stork complemented by the carriers, gaining any momentum at all is going to be impossible, I believe. Especially with Stork going all over the map. And it looks like... Hold on one second. I'm going to let them know to adjust my screen.
My screen moved up. I can't see... Yeah. I can't see upgrades.
We're going to gotta get that fixed. So I don't look like a noob anymore. So here's some vulture bikes moving around. Planting a few mines, and it looks like Stork's actually running over a lot of mines. He cannot really afford to do that. It looks like an island expansion is going to be the choice, but he built a pylon over there where the command center could not be constructed, buying more time for the carriers to come over there and do some serious ass-kicking to that expansion island expansion at the top. Now Mine has decided he's going to have to push now. It's now or never. The carrier fleet is growing at too much of a fast rate. And it looks like these carriers... Where'd the carriers go? No, it looks like they're actually preparing for this moving ahead thing. This push. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry, I'm back. Alright, so it looks like the push is going to be coming forward now. And the carriers and Stork's ground army are preparing for this. He did manage to get 2 Dragoons over there, and he has now secured that island. So it's all going to come down to whether or not Mine can actually have an effective push. I cannot actually see the upgrades on the Goliath, but I'm sure they're at least, I would say, 2-1, maybe 2-2, maybe 3-2. I'm not sure. Actually, I would probably say 2-1. So here he comes now with the Templars, storming a few of those Goliaths, pushing them back, storming again on the Goliaths. If the Goliaths are taken out, the carriers can clean up the rest. And it looks like Mine has done a surprisingly good job of actually controlling his army there. And these few Goliaths are now chasing down these carriers. But you're going to need more than a few Goliaths if you're going to take on the air fleet that Mine has, or that Stork has. Mine does not have an air fleet. So now, unless Mine can get this expansion up, I don't know what his options are. He's continuing to push forward. But look at this, only 2 Goliaths left. 1 and 0. And now I believe he can chase down these tanks. GG. What a game. Stork had it the very moment. I believe that Manor Pylon even got set up. Here's the Manor Pylon, rushed in there with a few zealots, then followed up with an excellent Reaver drop, which made that fast expansion almost impossible. Stork in complete control ever since the probe entered Mine's base. Wow, what an exciting game. So we got a 1-1 tie. Down here at the Averatec-Intel Classic, Season 1. Let's see here. What is that next map going to be? Where's that piece of paper on my desk? I believe the next map is going to be, yes, it's going to be Hills of Storm. Another interesting map. Kind of a tile cross structure to it. 1-1 tie. Only one person will advance to the finals of this little group that we have here. So, wow, a really impressive game. I have to say that we're really going to see how great Stork's Reaver control is. 95% of the time, he's dealing so much damage with these Reavers that, well, he just gains so much ground. And with that, obviously we know Stork is really good at macroing, so it's very difficult to recover from something like that. You really got to watch out for Stork's Reavers. Mind, on the other hand, we've seen very by-the-book play. He does not seem to be getting out of his shell too much, getting out of his comfort zone, really experimenting with his creativity. Instead, we're seeing a lot of very basic fast command center builds on this map, which are not necessarily bad by any means. They're actually quite good. But something to note is that they're still Protoss players know how to play against him. It's not like it's something new that it's very difficult to deal with. And that Terran, of course, don't have too many options. Oh, I think we're about to start, so sit tight. I'm serious.